boss is here, I think. Yeah, she is.
Thank you. We're happy to be back performing for you live. Again, last year we recorded our performance, but there's just nothing like live performance. So we're very happy to be back and performing with you. I'm Lila Hammer. This is my clarinet buddy and good friend, Mark Huntington. We've been playing together for about 46 years. So we've been playing a lot of duets and a lot of orchestral music together through the years, which we really enjoy. We have a variety of music for you today, of styles and time periods. Some of this music we've played for you in the past, but there are some new pieces too, and we enjoy learning and playing new pieces. That first piece that we played is called Fanfare, and that comes from a set of suites that were written by Jacques Hotteterre, who was a French composer and flutist from the Baroque era, which was around 1700 when he was writing this. This suite of duets was likely written for 2 violins or flutes, but has been arranged for a whole variety of instruments. And actually, my husband Steve and I have played a couple of these together. So he plays trumpet and I play clarinet. So it's nice to have some things we can play together. The next piece that we're going to play is completely different style and time period. This piece was originally written for 2 trombones. It's called Chasing Rabbits, and it was written by Clark Cothern in 2017, so not that long ago. Interestingly, Cothern is a pastor in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and his hobby is composing and arranging music and playing trombone in a community band. So you may have watched rabbits through the years and how they hop one way and they go another way, and you're never quite sure, especially if when they're on the road, which way are they going to go? You don't know which way they're going to go. So see if you can hear any of that behavior in some of the things that we're playing. Chasing Rabbits.
about the history of the clarinet. We clarinetists love our instrument, and there's a lot of history behind it, although the clarinet is relatively new to the orchestral scene. The first that we see of the clarinet and hear of the clarinet was the late 17th century, early 18th century, and it was the first iteration of the clarinet was something called a Charlama, and that name has persisted. We now have a Charlama Register, which is the lower register of the clarinet. That is the Charlama Register versus the, oh gosh, what is it? I had it. You remember?
I know.
I'll come up with it. There's a name for this one too. The upper register of the clarinet. But the clarinet had its early origins in this instrument, which was a single reed instrument such as this, but it represented was more like a recorder than it was the present day clarinet. And there is a lot of French influence in the development of the clarinet. It really came into its own in the orchestra scene in the mid-1860s, although there were some compositions that were made or were written prior to that time, Mozart Clarinet Concerto being one of them. But it really came into its own as an orchestral instrument in the mid-1800s. Typically, an orchestra has two clarinetists, Lila and myself, sometimes a third. For example, on this next concert, I'm playing third clarinet and the bass clarinet, and Lila's going to talk to you about the family of clarinets in a little bit. But usually, it's just us two, and we have a good time doing that, playing that. So our next piece is a longer piece, and it is called Duet, and it is by a composer by the name of Yost. So, give me a second to get my...
This piece was actually written for two clarinets, and it was written, he lived in the late 1700s, so it was one of the early pieces for clarinet. And it has a lot of pages. So.
there's more.
That takes a lot of air. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about the family of clarinets. There are basically 10 different clarinets. They come in sizes from one about this long, just about this long, and to one that's just lots of piping. It stands about this tall, and all the piping goes all around, round and round in circles. The most common clarinets, however, are the B flat and the A, which is what you see us playing. And then the other most common clarinets are what's called the E flat sopranino, and I play that. It's the little tiny. It sounds it's just really high. My husband calls it squeaky because it's very high. And then there's the alto clarinet, and then there's the bass clarinet. And Mark had mentioned before that he plays the bass clarinet. So between us, we play the five most common clarinets. Oh, did I not say that? B flat and A, the little sopranino, the alto, and the bass. Those are the most common ones. Occasionally, the contrabass is used, but mostly it's the five that I mentioned. And so they all use the same fingering, which is really helpful. They're keyed a little bit differently, but the fingerings are all the same. So if you learn one clarinet, you've pretty well learned the fingerings for the other clarinets. Most of the duets that Mark and I play are for B-flat clarinets. Occasionally we will run across some duets for A, but most of them are B-flat. We did find a couple of duets that are for soprano B-flat, which is this, and the bass. So we can play those together too occasionally. A lot of band music is written primarily for the B-flat clarinet. So most of when you're in high school or you're in elementary school and you're learning to play, you're playing the B-flat clarinet. However, when you move into orchestral music, a lot of orchestral music is written for the A clarinet. So if you ever come to a concert and you see Mark and I switching clarinets and you think, oh, what's wrong with that first clarinet she had? No, it's just a different clarinet. They have a little bit different sound, but the music marks whether it's going to be for clarinet in B flat or clarinet in A. So we have to switch back and forth. So you might watch for that. The next concert, you'll see Mark switching back and forth between the A clarinet and the bass clarinet mostly. So the next, let's see, I think that's pretty well in on that. The next piece we're going to play, it's called the Three Bagatelles. And you've probably noticed that we've been alternating between different styles of music and different time periods. This piece, the Three Bagatelles, for two clarinets, was actually written for another piece written specifically for clarinet. It's a contemporary piece. The composer, James Sclater, was born in 1943 and is a retired music professor and clarinetist. A bagatelle is just a short piece of music. And so we're going to play two out of this suite of three. We're just going to play two of the bagatelles, and each one of them is about 1 minute and 15 seconds. So you got to listen, make sure you're paying attention and listen to those. The first one is called Gallop, and the second one is titled Ostinato.
This one, we always have a bet on who's going to finish first. We're supposed to end together. But it doesn't happen that often. So sometimes Lila wins, sometimes I win. We'll see. Professor Lynn will take your bets back there.
we actually ended together. That was great. Yeah. Well, the next piece is an arrangement of the Prague Waltzes by Dvorak. These waltzes were written in 1879 for the annual Prague Ball. There was an invitation sent out for composers to submit, and this is these are some of the waltzes that Dvorak presented. This is quite a shift in style from the Bagatelles that you just heard. So you may just end up swaying in your seats as you envision the ladies in their ballroom gowns and they're waltzing in the ballroom. So enjoy the Prague Waltzes. We have two more pieces from that little suite of nine, the nine set of suite that we started off the the concert from. The first one is called Fantasy and Musette. And again, these were by a French composer written back in the 1700s. So please enjoy the Fantasy and Musette.
And a little bit of trivia, this composer, Hattater, is thought to be responsible for inventing the spring mechanism by which our keys rebound after we press them. So, learned that little fact. Okay. Fantasy.
Well, it's been our pleasure to play for you today. We enjoy being here and playing for you. We hope you've enjoyed this variety of styles of music and the time periods. Our last piece is called Italian Polka by Rachmaninoff. This piece was written in about 1906 for two pianos. Rachmaninoff was a Russian composer, pianist, and conductor. So I hope you enjoy Italian Polka, and thanks again for letting us join your afternoon.